This morning, we talked to a legend in alternative rock and roll, electro pop. She is Shirley Manson of Garbage. 1993, they started in Madison, Wisconsin, 30 years ago. Good morning, Shirley. How are you?
Good morning. I'm tip-top. Thank you for asking.
We have you and the band here with Noel Gallagher and his High-Flying Birds on June the 10th at North Coast Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That is going to be amazing. Looking forward to that show. You guys are going to be doing all the stuff from your 7 studio albums. How's that feel? 7 studio albums.
Feels like a massive, weird, surreal treat. I just don't think any of us can believe we're still here and that we still get to make music. And just seems like, how the hell did we manage this? This is insane. It's such a highly competitive industry, and how we are a survivor of the 90s, I'm not quite sure. And I think that's kind of what's exciting about this tour for us is, to go out with Noel, one of the Britain's, premier songwriters and one half of an incredibly iconic rock band. It's a real privilege, and to go out with Metric, who are going to be opening for us. They were a band that emerged a little while after we did, and they feel like a sort of little sister band to us in a funny way. There's a lot of similarities between the two bands, and so it feels like a really great summer fit.
Shirley, you have entertained the masses, big and small. You've been on every major festival stage, and then recently, and I think you're into your 3rd season, you started a podcast called The Jump. Can you talk to us about it?
I got asked by Hirwi Rishikesh from Song Exploder to be the kind of host of one of his new ideas for a podcast. And I said yes, really, because my manager was like, you'd be an idiot if you didn't do it. I was reluctant to do it because it's just not something I do very well. I felt very overwhelmed, actually, by the whole process. But once I got talking to the artists, it was really inspiring and really exciting. And I got to talk to literally some of my heroes that I fell in love with when I was a kid, to get to interview Patti Smith or, David Byrne from Talking Heads. That was really surreal, really wonderful and really instructive.
Do you have a favorite moment talking to some of these great artists in your podcast? Do you have one bit of wisdom that you could share with us that you've taken away from these conversations?
The one that really sticks in my brain is Big Boy from Outkast. Outkast are I just worship them. I think they're amazing. But Big Boy told me that he started to analyze himself as a songwriter. When was he most productive? When was the best time to be creative for him? And he kept a sort of journal, and he logged all these pieces of information about his songwriting, and then finally came to the conclusion that he was great between 3:00 in the afternoon and 5:00 at night. And that's when he goes into the studio and works. And I'd never heard of anything like that before in my whole life.
Yeah.
That kind of discipline, I was in awe of it.
Peak Big Boy between 3 and 5 p.m. Now we know. What is your peak time, Shirley Manson?
I have no peak time.
No peak time.
I don't peak.
Inspiration
Not yet,
comes
anyway.
when it comes. Yeah.
Shirley, I have a question for you. Are you a soccer or football fan?
I got insanely obsessed with the last World Cup, I have to confess. I used to be really into football, but, living in the States now, it's much harder to tune in.
Well, I ask because I saw that Noel Gallagher was doing an interview and realized that one of the championships is happening on the day that you guys are in San Diego. It's happening in the morning. So I'm just wondering if there's maybe a possibility that we're going to find you guys watching the soccer match somewhere.
There is a huge possibility that might happen. I mean, I don't know if you've ever met Noel. Have either of you ever met him? But he's just really personable. He's this huge big rock star, and he's really humble and funny. And he's got a brilliant mind, so to hang out with them is a real joy. So I think Garbage is really hoping that we get to hang out with him for a bit during this tour, just because he's funny. And being on tour should be fun. And it isn't always. Sometimes, you can find yourselves with people who are maybe a little more private or shy. But he's not shy, and he's not particularly private. So I'm sure we're going to have a good time on this tour.
That's awesome.
Pretty sure.
Shirley, you've traveled the world probably in style and probably in squalor, is my guess. What has been the bougiest you've ever got to a concert? I'm sure you've had a helicopter or a private jet to go to a show. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, we've been really spoiled, I have to say. It's sort of kind of mad sometimes. I think the maddest, sort of most bougie was when we were on tour with U2. I mean, obviously, because they were like the biggest rock band in the world, you know. And we would get off stage and we'd get zoomed into a car and taken to a private airfield and get on the private U2 plane with just us, just Garbage, and just U2. And that felt like insane. It was like a rock and roll fantasy, you know. And we had a police escort buzzing us through to the airfield, and it was just all like, whoa, this is so Almost Famous, you know, this is mad. So we've been really spoiled. It's obscene. But like you say, we've done plenty squalor.
Well, we'd love to spoil you with some San Diego craft brew and some California burritos once you get down here to San Diego.
Amazing. We love San Diego, you know, like 91X. They really blew us up in San Diego. Do you know what I mean? And we love coming down. It's such a beautiful city, you know, by the ocean, incredible seafood. And we've always just had a really magical time when we've been there. So we're really looking forward to playing.
With that in mind, Shirley, what is your favorite memory of San Diego?
Possibly met Noel Gallagher for the first time in San Diego. It was a Christmas, like, I can't remember what you call it, like a jingle ball or whatever.
Yeah, like Frosty the Showman, Nightmare Before Xmas. We've called it a lot of things. Acoustic Christmas.
Rex the Halls.
Rex the Halls.
Yeah, Rex the Hall, I think it was at that time. Yeah. And there was so many amazing bands on the bill. There was Oasis, Fiona Apple, Garbage. I mean, it was insane. Radiohead. I mean, really insane time. And I think I met Noel in the catering for the first time. So I guess that would be that's a memorable moment, you know.
Oh,
Full circle.
Let's make some more moments.
Yeah.
Let's make some more moments.
Shirley Manson, she sings for Garbage, in case you didn't recognize the voice. 30 years in the band. They're coming to San Diego, June the 10th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in Chula Vista. Tickets available. All the love and respect, Shirley, from
Thank you so
Marty,
much.
Danielle, and 91X.
Thank you so much, Shirley.
Thanks, guys.